Hi guys, this is Hero. How's everyone doing today? आज बता के हम जो आज सबके हो. So today I'm going over Jupiter's progressive transit in the sign of Aries. Okay, so this happens from December 31st of 2023 to May 1st of 2024. Okay, now something to note: Jupiter had already gone into Aries. Okay, and then went back and is now going forward again. Okay, so this is going to be a lot different than if Jupiter would just be going into Aries. Okay. Also, another thing, Jupiter, it's going forward right at around like the 11 or 12 degree mark, right? So it's basically pretty much at the end of Ashwini. It's not like at the beginning of Aries, right? This makes a difference, and I'll explain in a second. Some other superficial things right off the bat is that Jupiter is no longer with Rahu. Okay, that's a huge thing. And then another thing is Saturn is in its own sign, throwing a third aspect on Aries. Okay, Saturn is now has full. It's going fully progressive. Also, it's not retrograde or stationary or anything like that anymore. Okay, so its aspect is a lot stronger, and a little bit like healthier, you could say. And Rahu's influence is pretty much gone. So it's all pretty much good news, okay, in terms of the guru, and you could probably feel this effect sinking in right now. So I said Jupiter's not at the beginning of Aries, right? So Aries is all about new things like that. And guru's, all about consciousness, and it's trying to guide you in the right direction and all this. And then Saturn's obviously going to force you to take action, right? So what could happen here, you are whatever possible resourceful things you've started in the past year, like when Jupiter was in Aries, you could continue or maybe even restart them. I'd even say more restart them, but you're going to have a much different approach to when you do it. You're going to either have a different approach or you're going to do it in a different way completely. Okay. But you're kind of still doing the same things, or you're starting the same things. At a spiritual level, you are starting new things, but superficially, they could be the same things. It's just deep down, you're doing them in a different way or somehow. And I'll give you an example just to explain so you guys are not confused. Let's just say boxing, right? I started boxing last year. So, man, at the during a certain Rahu or Jupiter period, like I was really just hitting the bag, like super hard, whatever. Yeah, I was focusing on form and things like that on the surface, because I'm like more aware and things like that. I'm not just trying to go in there and waste time, but I was hitting it really hard. Okay, to feel cool or whatever, right? Just for more like Rahu-ish reasons. Okay, and also just to help me like get comfortable or feel a little bit more comfortable and confident in starting a new thing and things like that. Now, what happened was a little bit later, right around the time when Jupiter was going retrograde, my wrists started hurting. Okay, so I stopped. Now, I'm just feeling it. I'm just about to start again, right? I actually just started one time, but I'm going on vacation. So I'm going to like really resume when I come back. But I can kind of tell I'm going to continue this because I like it. But I'm not really going to, hit the bag every time like this is the last time I'm going to ever hit a bag or have this outlet of releasing frustration, right? I'm going to take it more calm each time, right? I'm not going to, just whack it like in a very unhealthy manner each time, right? I'm going to really make sure that I'm hitting it softly, like I'm doing things to increase my form and my stamina and things like that, but I'm not doing it in an unhealthy manner. Okay, pretty much the point. Another thing, right around the summertime or things like that, I started eating a little bit more unhealthier than I usually do, right? I was kind of bulking up. I had a back injury, okay? So I was trying to gain some weight back. Now, it's not like I'm not going to, I officially put back pretty much all my weight, right? I'm around like over 200, okay, like 205, 210. So I'm at a pretty good weight. Like anybody you ask, you're a pretty heavy person, right? And I'm not like, I'm pretty in shape. So now that that's happening, right, I can still do that. I can still eat the things I want to eat and things like that, but maybe let's do it in moderation. Maybe I don't need to have, sweets as frequently as I did, or fried foods as frequently as I did, right? Just because I could afford it because my weight was lower. Now it's time to cut it back. There's health things that come with it and all this kind of stuff, right? So I'm still kind of doing the things that I started, but I'm doing it in a different way. I'm doing it in a healthier way. I'm doing them in a more sustainable way, which is kind of the big difference between Bharani and Ashwini Nakshatra, okay? It's all about sustainability. That's why when Jupiter went retrograde in Bharani, I stopped the boxing. I stopped, I was pretty, I actually, like I just said, I was eating unhealthy. Actually, when Jupiter went retrograde, I was just like eating less. Like I did like a 3.5 day full fast, like all this kind of stuff, right? Because it's just like, dude, you need to stop. This is not sustainable. You see how this picture works, right? So I was doing the stuff, and then when Jupiter went retrograde, it's like, whoa, stop. And then because stop the stuff that's not sustainable in the long run. And now, okay, we can restart those things, but at a little bit of a more sustainable energy that kind of is there, right? So you kind of have to see how this applies to your life when, I know some dashas might have changed and things like that, but just at a general sense, okay? Just see what kind of things you started and what kind of things you stopped, okay? Most likely, you could feel an itch to kind of start those things again, right? There's absolutely nothing wrong with that. But you also are going to notice that you might have an idea or two or something that is resourceful in you sustaining that. I would strongly listen. This is one of those transits where it's like the ideas, the intuition, everything you kind of get here, they're going to be really resourceful, okay? So just keep that in mind. Like don't try to, and again, your dashas do matter, but in a general sense, you're going to want to pay attention, okay? And you're going to want to implement this because these are good habits you can build that are really going to be helpful for your whole life, right? Because Jupiter, I mean, it only changes signs once a year, right? So it takes 12 years to go through the whole loop, right, of all the signs. That's why, 12 years is a long time. Think about who you were 12 years ago and who you're going to be 12 years from now. It's going to be a completely different person, right? I mean, you can prove this from just looking at 12 years you before and then now, right? So whatever you were starting 12 years ago, I mean, it's not the same stuff as now. So this is really going to set the tone for your next 12 years, okay? Yeah, so I think that's pretty much all I really need to say, okay? Because this is kind of just more of a general video for the first half of this next year, okay? And the fact that Saturn is aspecting the Jupiter as well, it's really making sure it's going to be on the right track, okay? Somehow, some way, whatever you start, most likely, in general, it's going to be somewhat resourceful also for, whatever karma you need to fulfill. I don't know how, okay? Like, for example, I have no idea how this, and it could be in ways that you don't even understand. It's not like direct. It could be like this causes this, which indirectly, like this causes this, which causes this. So it's like indirectly the first thing causes the third thing, right? So it's like you don't know, right? But the higher powers and everything, they know. So you just have to trust it, and your intuition will kind of guide you accordingly, okay? So I think that's it for this video. If you have any questions or comments, as usual, feel free to let me know. And until next time, I'll talk to everyone later. Thank you all very, very much for watching.